is One Person Studio here, and the puzzle that I'm going to solve today is called Rock, Paper, Scissors, Lizard, Spock. So, I know I have to use arrays and conditions to complete this puzzle, and if I click, for example, arrays, it will tell us the definition of it. I'm not going to read all of it, I'm just going to read the first paragraph. An array is a data structure that allows to store multiple values. Usually these values share the same type, for example integer. Each element of an array is accessed by the index, which is the example. Yeah, like I said before, I'm not going to read all the paragraphs, so you can pause it and read it your own time. For conditions, in conditional expressions are features of a programming language which perform different computations or actions depending on whether a programmer specified Boolean condition evaluates the true or false. The if-then-else construct is common across many programming languages. Although the syntax varies quite a bit from language to language, the basic structure looks like this. When an interpreter finds an if, it expects a Boolean condition, for example, x is greater than 0, which means the variable x contains a number that is greater than 0, and it evaluates that condition. If the condition is true, the statements following the then are executed. Otherwise, the execution continues in the following branch, either in the else block, or if there is no else branch, then after the end if. So that's what conditions does. Let's read the goal of the puzzle. An international rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock tournament is organized. All players receive a number when they register, which is right here. Each player chooses a sign that he will keep throughout the tournament among. So rock is R, paper is P, scissors is C because they already took S for Spock, and lizards for L. Scissors cuts paper, paper covers rock, rock crushes lizard, lizard poisons Spock, Spock smashes scissors, scissors decapitates lizard, lizard eats paper, paper disproves Spock, Spock vaporizes rock, rock crushes scissors, and in case of a tie, the player with the lowest number wins. And in brackets says it's scandalous, but it's the rules. So this is an example right here. The winner of the tournament is player 2. Before winning, he faced player 6, then player 5, and finally player 1. It's time to solve it. I'm not gonna use Python. I'm gonna use a new language, and the language that I'm going to use is JavaScript. If we look at the input, it will tell us what each line does. So the first line, it represents the number of participants in the competition. The next lines are the for loop. So an integer non-player indicating the player number, and it follows by all the letters right here, which indicates the chosen sign player. So let's do that. And the output tells you who is the winner, and the list of its opponents separated by space. The constraints are n is a 2. I think that's a power sign. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it does, but yeah, I think it's a power sign. Yeah. So basically, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, and then you do 8 times 2 is 16, and it gets up to 124. It's not power, but I forgot what it's called. Never mind. So 2 less than equals to n is less than equal to 1024. And I gave you an example right here for input and output. So 8, 4 rock, 1 paper, 8 paper, and then that's the output right here, 2, 6, 5, 1. To start things off, I want to add all the variables for the sign. So to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm getting rid of this, I'll need this. I'm going to add a const, I'm going to call it rules, and what I'm going to add is, no, not this one. I'm going to add, it's basically, I'm just going to add all of this. So it's right here. So to start things off, I'm going to add CP equals 0. I want to add PC 1. I want to add PR is 0. And if I do RP, which is 1, let's do RL is 0. LR is 1. LS is 0. SL is 1. SC is 0. CS is 1. CL, let's do right here. CL is 0. LC is 1. LP is 0. PL is 1. Let's do PS, it's going to be 0. SP is 1. SR is 0. RS is 1. RC is 0. And finally CR is 1. And if you see the pattern, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, that's literally the pattern. That's what it's telling us right here. Yeah, so 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. So that's the pattern right there. So now that's done. The next line, they've already done it for us, so we don't need to do that. I'm just going to add a let. I'm going to call it players, which equals to array n, because that's the constant we want to use, and we want to fill it. So what that does, it value to fill array section with, and we're gonna not use any. We're not gonna fill any with that. Next we use map, and what that does is a function that accepts up to 3 arguments. The map method calls to a callback function 1 time for each element in the array, and we're going to use v, and we're going to use a arrow function, and we're going to use readline. So what that does, it reads a line from input. So let's do std in. So yeah, so what that does is a inbuilt application program interface of the process module which listens for the user input. So that's what it does. And we want to split that by space. So a string that identifies character or characters to use in separating the string. If omitted, a single element array containing the entire string is returned. So now that that's done, we want to use a while loop. So before that, I'm gonna show you what let does in JavaScript. So let allows you to declare variables that are limited to the scope of a block statement or expression on which it is used. So that's what it does. We're going to use a while loop. So while let's do while players dot length, which is equals to 1. And what I want to do, what's wrong with that? Okay, never mind. I want to do players equals to players, and I want to reduce that. So what that does is a function that accepts up to 4 arguments. The reduce method calls the callback function one time for each element in the array. And I want to use that, this, and I want to use all of this. And I want to use a out function. And we're going to use this, and we're going to use concat. So what concat does is addition arrays and all items to add to the end of array. That's what it does. And we want to use I, and we're going to use this as which is a modulo. So what that does, I may not pronounce that properly. That's called yes, basically it's a reminder. That's what it does. So 2, we're going to use not equal to 0. My bad, I made a mistake there. And we're going to use a question mark. So what that does is a question mark or conditional operator in JavaScript is a ternary operator that has 3 operands. The expression consists of 3 operands: the condition, value if true, and value if false. The evaluation of the condition should result in either true, /false, or a Boolean value. So that's what it does. And we want to use that for battle. Let's do array I minus 1. And then we're going to use this, and that's it. And then let's use an empty array and another empty array. Okay, that's done. That's finished. So that's the while loop done. So next, I'm going to use players. So players will equal to array dot of. So what that does is a set of elements to include in the new array object, and we want to use the 3 ellipses players 0. So what that does, I think, how do you spell it? Yeah. So in JavaScript, ellipses are used for 2 separate shorthands: rest syntax and spread syntax. So that's what it does. And now I want to print it. I want to print console log. What I'm going to print. So yeah, so what that does, it prints out with a new line. So multiple arguments can be pressed, with the first used as the primary message and all additional used as substitution values similar to this print F3. So that's what it does. And what I'm going to print is going to be this. So let's use the $sign. We want to use players 0 use the backslash and do another $sign. We're going to use players dot slice, which is going to be 2, and I want to join it by string. And that's it. How many mistakes though, didn't I? Now it should work. No, it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Ah, I see. Okay. Forgot to close it. Should work. Yeah, should. Okay, works now. Great. So, because I use battle right here, it doesn't do anything because I haven't added a function to it. So now we're gonna add a new function, battle, which I'm gonna add 2 players. So player 1 and player 2. And inside the function, what I want to do is, it says right here, isn't it? The winner of the tournament is player 2. Okay. So what I'm going to do is use let winner, so who wins the tournament, and I want to do an if statement. So let's do if player 1, which is the 3 equals player 2 1. Oh, sorry, that was not I. It must be 1. Sorry. We will do winner equals plus player 1 is less than plus player 2. And we're going to use a question mark 0 : 1. Let's find out what this does. So the triple equals is a strict equality comparison operator in JavaScript, which returns false for the values which are not of a similar type. This operator performs typecasting for equality. If we compare 2 with the strings 2 using the triple equals, then it will return a false value. So that's what it does. And for function, if we check that out, a JavaScript function is a block of code designed to perform a particular task. A JavaScript function is executed when something evokes it. So that's what it does. I think, do we need to, yeah, we got to do an else. So let's do an else. Else. We will do winner equals to rules. And I want to add player. Let's do player 1. I want to plus that by player 2. So that is finished. And let's return it. So if all of this happens, and we will return winner the triple equals 0 question mark. We'll do player 1 concat player 2, which is 0, and then I'm going to add a colon sign, which is going to be player 2. We're going to concat that as well by player 1. So what does it do? What this does? So colon JavaScript. So the colon symbol is generally used by JavaScript as a delimiter between key/value pair in an object data type. So for example, you may initialize an object named car with key values like brand and color as follows. Let car equals brand Toyota color red. So that's what it does. Now that's finished. I think that should be finished. I think I may have finished the whole thing. Alright. So we don't need this. No, yeah, we don't need this. Actually, do we need this? No, we don't need this. Because I already added it. Why did I add it? Wait. Oh, my bad. I added it after function. It should be below the function. It should be after, next to while loop. I was confused by that actually. Okay, now it should be done. We don't need all of this. We don't need all this. We don't need this. And we don't need this. So now it should work, hopefully. Yes, it does. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, let's submit it. Wow. It's a long episode right here, so if you watched to the end, I appreciate that very much. And I'll see you in the next one.